Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. Um, I'm very excited for this week. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun here. Let me be sure levels are looking good. All right, cool. So before we get started, as always, shout out to BitGet. You can get 20% off trading fees for life by signing up with the link below. They have been absolutely phenomenal to work with. Secondly, our invite giveaway. I've been getting a lot of questions about this. Your last day to do invites is on Wednesday, and then the first week of February we'll give away the prizes. It's 75 to first, 50 to second, and 25 to third. Thank you to those of you who have been participating, by the way. It's been really fun to watch the influx of new members in the group. So with that said, we'll go ahead and dive right into the charts. So this was from our Friday's live stream. This was the setup that I provided here. We can see that the consolidation actually took place a little bit higher than I expected. So we were up here. I was expecting to consolidate a little bit further down here. So we'll go ahead and just what I want to do is we'll start as always with our higher time frame analysis. And then we will double back and sort of take a look at this lower time frame stuff here, okay? If you guys have any questions, of course, always feel free to ask in the YouTube chat. If we don't get to it, you can go ahead and ask in the Discord as well. So, all right, weekly time frame. We're looking at our higher time frame chart. Guys, I drew this out months ago. Months. Look at this. Look at the respect here. To the dollar on the top. To the dollar on the bottom. This is the range. Like I said, we're going to range in this zone for weeks, potentially months, in my opinion. Okay, so we are looking for, I'm going to be looking for kind of a move up to that 44 zone, maybe around 45 back in here, for then a move back down, and then maybe come back up like this, and then eventually break down, right? So that's kind of my game plan. I really like this maybe 45 and a half, 44 to 45 zone, right? So somewhere in here is kind of where I'm going to be looking for a short, kind of back down to here, and then we'll probably end up sweeping that high afterwards. All right, so what does that look like on a lower time frame? Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So far, higher time frame plan going very well. Very well. Go on to lower time frames here, pop onto the 4-hour chart. So what does that look like exactly? I'm just going to get rid of this here, get rid of this, because look at that, right exactly where I said we should ever take profit one. What does that look like on the lower time frame chart is something like this, where I'm just going to get rid of all this stuff. Okay. Ultimately, I'd be looking for something like this, is to see BTC come into this zone, potentially as high as doing a deviation of the range, and then look for a move back down, potentially to range lows here. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we came back up, swept this high, and then had a further move down. So this for me looks really good. I like something like this. Of course, let's add some levels. Let's update some levels and we'll take a look, okay? So we'll save this for later. We'll update some levels and, you know, we'll really get into our analysis here. All right, so let's pop onto the weekly. We have a new weekly level. I'm not going to mark it out. I don't really like this weekly level. We had it front ran here, and it's basically the top of the range. So I'm actually not going to mark out that weekly level. Okay. What we are going to do is update for our previous week. We have to keep in mind we have the monthly close coming up here, so there's going to be a lot of shit. Going to be a lot of interesting price action going on there. You know, usually there's a lot of volatility. Weekly open and the previous week low. Okay. Hop on our previous month. Then go down to 4 hour, 6 hour. All right, let's see where these levels sit here. Weekly open. This is the monthly open is the midline. Get rid of that. Previous week high looks good. Previous month high is there. And when we say previous month high, we're talking about December. Yeah, so we're looking to hold the weekly open here. Looks good. Previous week high. Okay. Break above this. I think that, yeah, okay. So, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. Get rid of this. Previous week low, I don't really think is necessary for us to have on the chart right now. The yearly open is the midline, and that's where we're at with resistance. Yearly level 46. What are the odds that we would tap that level? I don't think they're that great. So both these naked point of control levels were tapped. Yeah, like perfectly. I'm really salty I missed this long because I had it planned out. I anticipated this long and I don't know. I was just busy. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. Perfect bounce from these NPOCs. What do you do? We have another set of NPOCs down here that are even better, so I do anticipate that these will get hit eventually. Take a look at the volume profile here. I don't think we'll get that far of a move down. You know, how bullish in the Monday range right now is really tight. Really, really, really tight on the Monday range right now. So we'll have to let the Monday range develop to start. Ideally, in my opinion, what I'm going to do is ideally, and I don't even know that we'll get this pullback. I think this would be very generous. You know, I want to look to do something like this. So I'm going to set. Get rid of these here. I'm going to set an alert here. Look to long val of range to 44K zone. I think that this would be a really nice, so whatever Monday does here, right? So like let's say we actually develop a decent Monday range and it, you know, it comes down or, you know, whatever. Let's say we develop a Monday range. Let's say that, you know, we put in like a Monday low here and we come up. I would look to sweep that Monday low on Tuesday and then start to reclaim levels and look higher. So for me, that would kind of be my setup. I'm not going to position today. Let's go to an even lower time frame here. Yeah, it's just about, let's look at the volume. Yeah. Yeah, I actually really like this setup. So there's a couple things like, people would right away, I'm sure, say, oh, look, you have a head and shoulders here. Here's the thing with head and shoulders, I generally do not like them at all. And if you're going to look for them to play out, volume is the most important part. So I'll actually give you guys a little lesson here on head and shoulders patterns is what you want to see. Okay, is a decrease in buying volume and an increase in selling volume. So normally, if you have a proper head and shoulders pattern, you're gonna see, kind of increased volume here, increased volume here, and increased volume here. So we do have some increased volume. We do have a bit of increased volume here, and here not so much. We definitely hit at the towards the top here. We hit some supply, but we can see that there's increased supply here, right? On these downturns. That's generally what you want to see with a head and shoulders pattern. So, what I'm going to be looking for, is a break of structure here. If price breaks down here below this, I'm going to look to see where that Monday low turns up and then look for maybe some kind of a sweep, down to this zone here. On the other hand, if price could very well not give a back test of any kind and could just have simply, could just simply have continuation to the upside, which would, not be uncommon whatsoever. It just depends on how quickly this move wants to play out and if it wants to sideline people. So, reclaiming the weekly open, I think, is a pretty big step here if it is going to have continuation to the upside. Look to the point of control. If it gets above previous week high, I would say we're definitely on our way higher, and we are not going to get this back test, okay? We claim this zone and we start chugging away, this is not going to happen, all right? If price fails to reclaim the weekly open and especially does not get back up to this zone at all, then I would say it's very likely if we lose this, we can start to look down into this zone, which we'll look for a long setup. Okay. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we just simply had continuation. I'm fine with missing that. I'm fine with missing this continuation to the upside because I'm looking to short up here. This is my primary trade. If I can catch a long up here, to me, that's a bonus. Okay, that's a bonus for me. I am not going to jump, try to force into a, I'm not going to try to force into a long here. I would rather do it down here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some liquidity data to see if that reinforces our trading plan on BTC. All right, so we have about 6 billion in positive delta. Really not that bad. There's a room to the upside. Certainly there's room to the upside here. There's quite a few. Wow, look at all this. Look at all this shorting going in here. Wow, that's crazy. Look at all that. Look at all this bottom shorting going on. Oh my God. Wow. A lot of shorting going on here. Let's look at the big players. 40,700. 40,400. 40,700. Even that's kind of low for me. Oops. Let's see. All right, let's take a look at the heat map here. 7-day heat map drops us down to 30. Not surprising. Okay, let's go to our 12-hour though. All right, 41,700, 41,500, 41,300. Yeah. So the local hotspot's around 42,500. Not too surprising there. And then on the 7-day, we're looking quite a bit lower. Monthly, 46, 44. Yeah, that 44 zone looks good. I'd like to see that. Forty-one, 300. 44, 41, 300 zones. That would be a sweep of this level. I'm going to put this up here a little bit. Yeah. 44, 42, 500. So above here locally, which makes sense. Yeah, I think after I look at the liquidity data, I am starting to think that I am starting to think that longing the val down here might be overly optimistic. I don't know that we'll actually get that. I think that this might be overly optimistic. And it's starting to look a little bit more likely to me that we would simply have continuation to the upside. Although, maybe we could do something like this. Possibly to keep the Monday range, kind of go like this, sweep this level here, reclaim, and then have continuation to the upside. Although again, we'll just have to wait and see. I think what's really important right now, this is the ideal long. If we get this, awesome. Okay. If we don't, no problem. We're looking to short up here. That's our primary objective. Additionally, if locally, once Monday range forms, so right now Monday range is super tight, by the way. It's really, 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 really tight. And it hasn't yet formed, right? It finishes forming once the Monday day candle closes. So today's daily candle. So we can see that Monday's range is super, super, super tight right now. Let's just say theoretically that this is Monday's range. I don't think it will be. I think that it will develop more. I'll look for like a sweep of Monday's low here, and I'll consider a long if we reclaim and do some kind of a deviation or something like that. And if we can get it even down to here, where it does something a little bit deeper, that would be ideal. Right? So these are kind of the levels that I'm looking for. If we got a sweep of here or a move down to the value area low, I would look for a long, okay? But I want to see either one of those setups. I'm not really interested in hopping into something here. It just doesn't really make sense for me. And again, we're going to look to short. Remember that shorting up here is the primary trade. If we catch a long, that's a bonus. All right. So we'll take a brief look at ETH. It just kills me that I'm not trading ETH as much as I'd like to. But that's okay. We'll go ahead and update for previous week here. Previous week. Low. Weekly. Open. Previous week. High. Drop down to a 4. Do we have a new weekly level? We did. It's not really interesting to me. Dailies. Nothing particularly interesting to me there either. Yearly open. So price is struggling at the yearly open here. The previous week low is right at our SFP level. I'm gonna get rid of the previous week low because we already have our SFP level there. Previous week high. I'm gonna get rid of that as well because I like the previous month high level more. And again, this was our trading plan here, which we did not get. I'm gonna hide all that stuff. We could get it later on. Now this is the range POC. I'm not seeing a lot of strength here on ETH. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I know at some point here, ETH is going to do some absolute backflips and go insane. And it could come out of nowhere. We'll have to sort of see when it happens. But right now, I'm really not seeing a whole lot of strength here. You know, this channel's been a really, really, really key area here. We lost it. We look like we're sort of reclaiming it, but this looks like a weak deviation back inside the channel. Like, this doesn't look great. Sometimes when things don't look so good, it's preemptive to get into position for when the breakout does happen, but I'm generally not crazy interested in this. I mean, I still would like to see that sweep lower that you know, I talked about for quite some time here. Let's see if I can just get this moved over. You know, I'd still like to see something like this. I mean, to me, that would still be such a great position to take. Getting any kind of sweep of these lows. This just does not really work with me, this low here. So we'll have to sort of wait and see what happens. Obviously, pending BTC, we are looking for some kind of a move up. We'll have to see what ETH decides to do with that. But right now, I'm more interested in trading BTC than ETH. We have our levels. You know, we have our alerts set. Go ahead and edit this. Look for SFP to long. All right. And edit here. I'm actually really not interested in shorting ETH. So I'm just gonna I have my alerts set down here still in case something weird happens. We get a dump, but yeah, you know, I really am just not interested in trading ETH right now. I'm not seeing anything too interesting. So we'll go ahead and hop into Sol. Sol, I am very much interested in trading. And we'll talk about why. Let's get our previous week levels going. Previous week low. Previous week high. Weekly open, right? Sol is one of the few assets right now, well, from the ones that we've looked at, that is not below the weekly open, but is actually holding the weekly open. So again, stronger asset, the one that we're probably going to want to long, not look too short so much. Yeah, so this is kind of what I've been looking at here with the Solana. It kills me that I didn't catch this long. I totally called it like to the dollar. And I just didn't, for whatever reason, I don't know, I just didn't take it. All right, so what we're looking at here is, I'm gonna go ahead and hide this for now. We got a really nice deviation of the range, right? Deviated range lows, reclaimed the level. And now we're looking to break out of these trend lines here, right? So this is this one right here is kind of our final breakout. Got kind of some degree of a back test here, and we're currently holding the weekly open. Sol as an asset right now, from the ones that we've looked at, definitely looks the best. Um, you know, in my higher time frame plan is to do, you know, we got this 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of looked like a 5, somewhere up in this, basically taking out this high over here, so around 140-ish, right? We do have a new weekly level. I'm not 90. It's at 90. Let's look at the monthly here. Potentially close the month red. We have an FVG. Fair value gap down to 68. Shit. Interesting. Okay. All right. Let's go back to our primary. And go ahead and hide this here. Drop down to an H6. Let's go ahead and get rid of these, but I'm going to bring back the trend line. And we were looking at 90 was the new weekly level, I believe. Not really crazy about this level, but we'll go ahead and mark it out nonetheless. Drop back to an H6. All right, so this looks really good for me. Again, talking about that one scenario with BTC, where we drop down to the val. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that one scenario where we drop down to the val, this is very similar. I'm going to be looking to long Solana. And I'll actually just trade it back up to the value area high here. This is definitely a long I'm interested in. I don't know that we'll get it, but we will see. So look to long untapped weekly. Well, I'll just do this. Weekly. That means untapped. Plus val plus 382 retrace. 382 retracement. Okay, so if we can get that move down there, I'm definitely interested in opening up a long position there. We'll go ahead and clean up this chart for you guys here. It's looking pretty all over the place. Yeah. So this is definitely where I'll look to enter a long position. And we'll essentially trade it back up to the value area high. Let's go ahead and check to see if our liquidity data supports this. Decently positive delta. A lot of shorting going on here. Look at all the shorting that's been happening here. All these red dots are all the shorting going on. It's pretty crazy. So heavy shorting. And I was looking at about 90. So we do have some nice 100x longs that survived down here right at 90. So that's good to see. I like that. I do like to see that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the heat map. Seven-day looking down to 85. Boy. We're on the 12-hour. 93. Yeah, so all pretty local here, right? 93. We could see maybe a sweep of that. Yeah, a lot of liquidity down at that 85 level. We'll have to take a look at that on the chart. Let's look at the 1 month. Again, 85, primarily targeting 104 to 108. So yeah, that looks good. All right, so we'll go ahead and go back to our chart here. Yeah, we could see here it goes. You know, it's bouncing right off of the weekly open. If we want to be like remarkably bullish, so you know how I said like I'm fine missing a long on BTC. I would rather just wait for our short. I don't feel the same way about Solana. On Solana, I'm willing to take a little bit more of a risk on the long position. That said, I'm still going to wait for Monday's range to form. Right now, it's really, really, really tight. Right, let's go ahead and pull that up here. Yeah, so right now, that Monday range, really, really, really tight, right? Definitely gonna want to wait to see this Monday range form out here. I may even be willing to long the point of control. Okay, so this is an ideal long scenario. I'll go ahead and clean this up for you guys a little bit. You know, ideally I would really love to long down here. I'm not going to hold my breath on that for Solana. I would maybe even be willing to take something more locally here. Okay. So we'll have to wait and take a look at that Monday range. Again, this is something I'll do is keep you guys updated on the Discord. I have my alerts set down here to see this low get taken out. If it does, we'll go ahead and actually, I'm going to up this to 93.50. And if we get that move to this low here, I'll look for one of two things. Either an SFP of this level, right? Because we have some nice liquidity down here locally. Or I'm going to look to long this level here specifically, you know, right around 91, 92, give or take, right? As a matter of fact, if we sweep this down to here and then get the move, that's even better. All right. So that's our plan for Solana. Lastly, we're going to be taking a look at gold. I normally don't look at gold, and I'm really excited to start taking a look at it here. I've been watching from the sidelines as Braun absolutely annihilates this asset, and I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it. I think it's a really nicely traded asset, and I want to join my brother on that. So let's take a look here. Go ahead and add our previous week levels here. Oh, that's not what that is. Previous week low, previous week high. A wickless weekly open. Yikes. Interesting. Okay. Daily looking ugly. Lock that up. Previous month levels, not really too interesting. Go down to H4. All right, so this morning, I know Braun did a shout out on a long. Let me look here once. Get that OB structure. So here's the deal. Last week, I was doing some analysis, and I basically shared. I'll go ahead and scoot this over. I basically shared I'd be interested in shorting this, doing something like this here. Okay. I would be interested in shorting a position, something like this. And we'd have to wait and see the setup for itself, right? Like how high will this sweep be? Will we go up to wherever? I like the idea of doing some kind of a short position here on this. Consider it overall a deviation of this channel. Or I'm sorry, of this trend line to finally go down, fill this fair value gap we have here down to this order block, you know, around 1985. So that's ultimately what I'm looking for. Again, similar to BTC right now on gold, is that my primary trade is the short. If I can catch a long in between, that's a bonus. Okay, the long in between is a bonus for me. This is the primary trade. All right, so if we keep that as the primary trade in mind, down on lower time frames, I did take a long, and I'm looking again to simply take out this high here. So this is the previous week high. We also have the 618 and the previous week high sort of on top of each other here. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and draw this out to make this very simple. And we'll go ahead and remove this. Going to up this to 27. Okay. I right now am in a position from, I don't know what my entry is. 23. So I'm in a position from here. My stop. I put my stop at 2017. I did that because we have a small OB here and here that I'd like to see hold as support, as well as the weekly open in this local 618. I don't really want to see price deviate too far from that. And ultimately, you know, I'm targeting, you know, around 2040, right? So this will be a nice 3 RR on that, which is a really nice trade. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. And here's the thing, what I want to see happen, right? If we go ahead and take a look at this H4, what I'm trying to do is simply trade this breakout, right? So we have this trend line. We have this trend line that's moving down here, right? 1, 2, 3, and look what happened here. So this is the change of structure that I want to point out to you is the reason why I took the trade. So we rejected here. We rejected here, low, low, low. Rejected here, made a new low. Rejected here, held the low, right? We held this low, okay? And instead now we're looking at these highs. Price broke out of this trend line. Okay, price broke out, and we're seeing, in my opinion, a back test, a very deep back test that on lower time frames looks like that we lost and are rejecting it again. But on the H4, in my opinion, what I would like to see, we have 2 hours and 15 minutes for this. I want to see this H4 candle recover and actually close. Sorry, I'll get rid of this here. It's in my way. I want to see this H4 candle close, you know, kind of above this level here, like around 2028, right? I want to see it close above here. So it's actually a back test because we held on the close, right? And simply wicked below. And then from there, you know, we'll look to sort of see that continuation or a sweep from here. You know, could price go as high as the 2062? Yeah, you know, sure, absolutely. But for me, I want to trade up to there and then start to look in this area for some kind of a short. Like I said, for me, you know, for me getting this long here, if we get it to play out, that's a bonus for me. I'm more primarily looking to get into this short position on gold, right? So that's why I took that position is that, you know, we can sort of start to see a change of structure, and we can see that this trend line is really no longer holding as resistance to the same kind of strength that it was in the past. And so that's why I'm positioned here, and I am looking to trade it up to around that 2040 zone. And we can sort of like see, you know, wait and see like what happens with this area. But, you know, if we go ahead and look back on it, you know, you can see just how contested this area has been. I mean, for a long time, right? Look at that, right? Support, resistance, 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 support, resistance, resistance, resistance. You know, if price, now on the other hand, if price does break back above here and hold this level, maybe we can open up another long and we can look higher instead of shorting. If it breaks up here and deviates, then we simply look to our primary target down here. And I like this because I want to fill this fair value gap over here. That to me, that's kind of the kicker, is filling this H4 fair value gap before actually having some kind of a move to the upside. A true move to the upside, I should say. Right. So I think that that's about it for today. We'll go ahead and call it there. Let's just take a look at BTC and see what it's been doing. Yeah, it looks like, looking like it wants to reclaim that weekly open. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Again, I really like to let the Monday range form before taking a trade. So I'm going to go ahead and let that do its thing. And wait for some kind of a setup, but I will go ahead and update you guys in the Discord as needed. Again, the primary zone for BTC is around this 41K level. This is my ideal long zone. I'll even look at a swing failure of here, but really, like I said, if I catch a long, that's a bonus. My big trade is going to be the short at the top. So if I missed a long, no problem. Solana, I'm a lot more eager to long this asset. Look at how strong it is. Look at the strength on this. It never even lost the weekly open like ETH and BTC did. I would be very stunned if I got this back test to around 91, 92. But if we did, I would be heavily looking to long that. I am not looking to look short Solana in any way. Again, Zao, currently in a long position. Look at this. We're back above. You can see here we're back above the fair value gap, right? So support, deviation, support, deviate. We're now looking to reclaim that level. So this does look good for our long position up to 2040 zone. All right, so we'll go ahead and call it there. This is a really, really great live stream. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Let's see if we have any questions here. Looks like, oh my God, why am I just like looked over at myself. Why am I lit up like that? Huh. Is that like that on everything? That's hilarious. I wonder why it's doing that. It's because I'm trading gold, boys. All right. So anyway, well, I'll have to fix that on my camera. I don't know why it's doing that. Here, let me try something quick. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. All right, cool. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it there. It looks like got a couple questions. How long did it take you to become a full-time trader? It took me a very long time. It took me a long time. I paid my tuition fees to the market, and I worked tirelessly. Here's the thing, right? Anything that's worthwhile is hard. Anything that's worthwhile in life is difficult, because if it wasn't, everyone would do it. Okay, and everyone can try to be a trader, but some only 5% actually succeed and crush it. And that's because it takes a lot of perseverance, and it's not an easy thing to accomplish. So yeah, it took me a long time. I think I started trading in 2015. 2015, I bought my first Bitcoin. And I started trading full time around 2020. I started trading full time around 2020. I started trading in 2015. And I would say that I've become successful at trading over the last few years. I mean, it's hard, man. It's really, really difficult. Like I said, anything that's worthwhile in life is not easy to do. Look at BTC absolutely pumping like crazy here. This is awesome. See how Zhao's doing. Yeah, Zhao too. This is great. This is great. Everything's looking good. Yeah, Sol's gone, man. Sol is just gone. Someone asked me to do some analysis on SUI. That's something, Andrew, that's something I can look to do in the week here. I won't do it today. I've been accumulating new assets to look at trading. My only requirement is that I'm able to trade it on BitGet. So I'll make a note of that one here. Let's see, I'll write that down. I have a list of assets that I periodically take a look at. Where's my notepad? SUI. Okay. That's another one I have written down here. If I can trade it on BitGet, I will absolutely do some analysis on it. I love looking at new assets as of late. All right, cool. Well, it looks like that's it for questions. If you guys have any additional that I did not get to, feel free to ask in the Discord. And as always, guys, thank you for joining me. I very much appreciate it. We broke 500 members in the Discord this week. We broke 1,000 subscribers on YouTube last week. And, you know, it might not seem like much, but it's pretty crazy to me, man. So thank you guys for your support, and we'll see you in the Discord.